on this computer. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so this is the Facebook page that we've set up for you. It's taken quite a lot and lots of pounds to organize this, so it's free for everyone. And my objective really is to allow everyone the ability to be able to contact people in a very simplified way without much stress. You know, there's scripts on what to say, there's scripts on how to make contact, there's even ideas on who you contact and how you contact those people. So when you get into this page, and John, I'll invite you into here. If you're connected with me, I think yes, you are connected. I'm sure you are. In fact, I could probably do that now. Let's see if we can find you. Invite Facebook friends. There we go. And that should actually go into your notifications, John, and then you'll be in here. So when you first arrive on this page, what I recommend you do is go to guides. You can have a look around at everything, by the way. There's no harm in looking at everything, but go to guides, and this will give you a heads up on how to get going with it. So we have on the first bit is a welcome video, and I've done that with my marketing person called Laura. And basically that gives an idea of how to get going on this.
Welcome to Derek's Vivo team member Facebook group. I'm here with Derek. I am Laura Ward. I am Derek's marketing partner. And today we're just going to show you an overview of the system you'll be using to attract people into your network marketing team. So I'm just going to share my screen. And we're going to show you the Facebook group. Okay. So when you sign up to Derek's team, your upline should request that you are added into this group. Okay. You know, you're in the right place because it'll say Vivo member success with Derek Tellis, and it'll tell you how to get started in your training. So when you enter the group, you'll probably be under discussion, and you just want to navigate to these guides here. So if you're on a mobile browser, I would recommend you kind of actually come in and use this on a laptop. It's just going to be much easier for you to do. And you just want to navigate to the guide section. Okay. So you'll be here about now. This will be the welcome video that you're watching, and this is going to give you an overview of the complete system. And as you can see in these guides, it's broken down step by step as a system we'll be following. So let's start with guide number 2, which is optimizing your LinkedIn profile. So this is like the first step really of what you need to complete. And ideally you want to start by creating a scheduling link, because the purpose of what we're doing is to get a prospect scheduled onto your calendar. So you need this scheduling link here. Okay. We are then going to move on to who we're trying to attract. So for yourselves, your target audience is going to be network marketers within the health and wellness industry. And we target network marketers because they are the people that are interested in network marketing, right? We know that 100%. And so we need to position you as somebody that will attract network marketers. And you do that by positioning yourself as somebody that has a system, which you do, which is why you're here. And then we get them on a call and recruit them into your team so they can access the system that you have access to. Does that make sense, Derek, for you as well?
Yes, definitely. Yes, very good. Yeah, I'd muted by mistake.
Oh, that's okay. No, you please feel free to interact as well. So this is quite a unique and new.
So I'll stop there. So at least you know where to go and where to start. So then as you look down the list under the guides, we've got overview of the system. So optimizing LinkedIn, send connection requests, outreach to new connections, scheduling the strategy call, enrolling the new team member. We've even got the PDF on how to actually sign people up within Vivo. So it's everything you need from start to finish, all the wordings, all the even the posts that are in there. Now with the posts, with regards to posts, you're quite, I'm quite happy to allow people to copy paste posts that I've got, because I've created a month's worth of posts and I've scheduled them in. So I haven't actually got to put any posts on a daily basis. They go in automatically. And the new people that are connecting with me on a daily basis, at least 5 at the moment, I can ramp that up after Christmas and get a lot more people connecting with me on a daily basis. So there's very little to do other than wait for people to get back to you. And that's the idea of all this. So really for newbies and people who've not really got the skill sets, I've been in this industry, as I'm sure a lot of people have as well, for a long time, 35 years. So if I haven't learned how to get people signed up into almost any opportunity by now, then I might as well give up. So the process of learning and making mistakes is what a lot of us go through, but we'd like to offer you the opportunity to not have to make the same mistakes that we've made, and make it easy, really. And if you follow the system, that's how it works. It works in a very, very simple way. So again, look at my LinkedIn, connect with me in the Vivo group, WhatsApp group. I've got the links. Does anyone know how to get information in WhatsApp for media, links, etc.? Do you know how to do that? Or anyone don't know how to do that, for example? Michael, did you want to say something?
No, I was just saying, yeah, I do know to do it. You just go into the administration settings and it's all there.
Yeah, it's just that if you do want to avoid scrolling through all the chats, then just go to the profile of the group that we've set up, and in there it'll say links and it'll say documents, and you can actually go to the videos, etc. I had a bit of an issue, by the way, downloading last week's training because I'm trying to do it on a new software, and I had to make some cuttings because I didn't realize when you actually use when I was using the software with my apps, the audio worked perfectly, and then as soon as I swapped back to coming off the share and then moved on to the rest of the talk we had, which wasn't very long, I was answering a few questions. It went silent, so it just a load of us speaking and you couldn't tell what. So I cut that bit off, but now I'm having a bit of a challenge sort of getting it uploaded onto YouTube before I share it. So that should happen. I'm not sure why it's taking so long, but it says it's pending. So I will upload that as soon as it's done. So this one should be a lot quicker because it's going through Zoom. So it'll be uploaded almost either today or tomorrow, and everyone can look at it. So any questions on inviting and contacting people? Because I think that's an area that people sometimes struggle with. I'll just give you a few pointers as to what I'm doing and what works. Okay, so I go to a few network meetings. I meet people on a regular basis, but I also meet people online. And also Mary is available for most of us if you want to have somebody called for you, because then it's done very professionally in a very good way, because she's got a lot more experience than most of us, including me, because she's made more calls than me. But the point about talking to people, really, from my point of view anyway, when I contact people, is to really discover, I call it this, the discover what they want. Okay, so just because somebody's in another network doing something else doesn't mean to say they haven't got room for one more, especially if it doesn't conflict with what they're doing. But you got to do it in a non-salesy way. So I was in direct sales many years ago, and I understand how sales processes work. And the thing is, those sort of things don't work. People are very they've had that many salesy type talks with different people, from the phone to TV to social media. They can smell it coming a mile away, and usually they back off at 100 miles an hour. And Colin and I, we've been in companies before where we've seen that sort of thing happen with our downline, and we used to train people on how to talk to people And it's really important to get a relationship going with somebody, because if you do, remember, these people are going to be contacts of yours for a long time. And especially if they're wearing the watch, you know, this is almost, well, it's for life probably, because you think about the data collection, it's not going to stop. It's just going to improve and get better with the different products and things they're bringing on board. So it's important to get to know somebody. And I always do that. I don't talk about the product or service or anything. When I speak to somebody brand new, I'll find out what they're doing, what their background is. I think Dahlia heard me with the guy yesterday when I was with him. Mr. Shah, I'd never met him in my life, and I was asking him about him. And the thing is, what you do is you allow people to talk about themselves, because what does that do? It makes them feel important. Okay, when somebody feels important, they actually calm down, they settle down, they're comfortable with you, then they open. And that's the whole point. You want people that open. If somebody isn't open and they're crossed legs, crossed eyes, crossed arms and everything, you're not getting through to them, they're not getting through to you, and really you're on a lose situation. So the objective really is to try and make people feel comfortable in your presence. Now, one thing good about what we're doing in our system is if people feel uncomfortable with that, most of the leaders in our team, and if you look who your upline are prepared to do three-way calls with you. The idea of a three-way call then works very, very good. Is first to identify you, because you know you might know the person you're talking to, but your upline doesn't. So they'll more likely to listen to them. They'll give you credibility. So what happens is you arrange a three-way call, and I always say to me, look, listen, this is a time for you to learn and not interfere or talk. I've been in so many three-way calls where I've won the person over, and the person who's brought them in has said something and something else and something else, and then suddenly we've lost that person because they've interfered with the process. So the process is to be learnt, and if you've got somebody experienced in your team who's capable of doing three-way calls, then do so. If not, speak to me, speak to Mary, and we'll be able to connect you with somebody in your line of sponsorship. So the objective then is to actually listen to how we do it. Okay, I'm not here to beat a drum and say I'm very good at things. It's just I've done it a lot more, and I had a lot more people say no. I've had to learn the mistakes before I've learned to do it well. So consequently, my strike rate to the people is about 95 to 98% of the people I speak to join, and I can say that about a few people around the table here today. So it's about understanding people. So when you get that right, it becomes a very simple business. And I don't look for people to say no. I always look for people to say not now. I don't get rejection. Okay, so somebody might say not now, or even if they say, listen, it's not for me, I'll turn around and say to them, okay, maybe not at the moment. Is it all right if I contact you in 3 months' time? Just bring that up, you know, just, is it all right if I contact? Most people will say no, it's no problem. In 3 months' time, if you're that much further down the road, you're going to be able to show some success. You're going to be able to show them that you've done this, that, the other. So consequently, you know, you've got another bite at the cherry. So don't ever give up on people unless they give up on themselves, you know, and they really, really don't want to. You know, I don't know how many times I've approached my brother and he just won't touch a thing. He's very, very anti anything I try to share with him. And even when I offered him $10,000 as an investment, he didn't take it. It's really weird that. I'll tell you a quick story, right? I was working with, my background is chefing, and I was in hotel management. I was in London, and I was in Jermyn Street where they sell all the shirts, who's the back end of our restaurant. And I was walking down there, and there's this guy walking down the road. He's well suited and booted, and he was throwing loads of money in the air. And I actually was walking along that street, and I ran after him and started picking up the money. It was £20 notes. And I noticed while I was doing that, some people were actually crossing the road rather than pick up the money. And some people were just walking the other direction, you know, and some people were walking over the money. Now think about this, right? What was going through their heads? They were obviously thinking, oh, this is too good to be true. It's fake. It's not real. And then that night in the Evening Standard, which was the paper on the day, there was an article, small little article about this guy. Apparently he'd won, I forget what it was. It was on the horses or something. He'd won a lot of money. and he took 1/10 of it and started throwing it down the street. So he got rid of about £10,000, I think, something like that. It's crazy. But you know, I picked up, I don't know, in those days it was a lot of money. This was back in the 90s, and I think I picked up about £200, and that's like my, you know, 2 months' salary. So I was really over the moon. But it just shows, and I learned a thing or two from that. And this is what I say to you: sometimes you got to be careful how you approach people. You know, you've got a fantastic opportunity, but don't go to the duck pond, right, and throw the bread at the whole loaf at the ducks. You've got to throw little bits of bread at the ducks for them to come to you. You throw the whole loaf out, you might knock a few ducks out. And that's what a lot of people tend to do. They tend to get so excited, they overdo it on the information. In fact, I don't even really talk about the money at all with people until the very end of my conversation. I talk about the health benefits, the fact that we've got, in fact, I call it a health, what do I call it? Sorry, I've just told Mary today what I called it. I call it a monitoring, health monitoring. What was it, Mary? I told you.
I'll just remind you of what you call it. You call it a health monitoring wearable.
That's it, health monitoring wearable. Okay, because if I say watch, what are people going to say? They're going to think, oh, they're going to think Apple. They're going to think all the other things that are out there. And the thing, this isn't like Apple. Okay, so don't ever try and get people to compare it. The only difference is that we can do everything that Apple does with sports and everything else, but we can do a lot more. And I don't know how many of you actually have used all the different parts of it, but you know, from my point of view, for all those that don't know, I had a heart attack in January, open heart surgery in February, and had I had a watch, I know I would have prevented a heart attack. And why do I know that? Well, a couple of days ago, I had an anomaly on my ECG from the watch. I took it to my doctor's day before yesterday. They then went into emergency talks. It was really weird. But they looked at this ECG printout I had, and they said, right, have you been to the hospital? And I said, no. Do you need to go to the hospital? They said, we think you do. And I said, well, I feel all right. I said, this, you know, I know there's an anomaly, but, you know, I don't think anything's going on. So anyway, long story short, I didn't go to the hospital because I don't really like hospitals since I've been there. But I actually had a X-ray this morning, and I've got a blood test on Monday. So I'm paying attention to the fact that I was warned about it. Okay, and this is the key thing about it. So all I'm saying is be aware of what's available on your device, so you can also help other people understand what's available. So the first thing I show people or talk about, like Mr. Shah said, I show them what it can do. The fact that it can warn you, pre-warn you of a heart attack. For elderly people or for people, even for me, for example, you know, or for somebody with low blood pressure, if they fall over, it sends a message, if you set it up right, to next, you know, the person that your loved ones, so that they know you've fallen over and things like that. So yeah, Colin.
Yeah, I was just on that very subject. I was the typical blue character. Me, if you don't know what that means, you'll find out. I thought I'd be playing around with mine, so I literally just got my watch today. I was just setting it up, and I thought, wow, it's got a fantastic SOS facility on it, all sorts of things. You know, your blood pressure, God knows if you fall over. So I set it all up. I'll set my my wife as the number one SOS contact.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I'm going to test this. So I threw myself on the floor.
Yeah.
Nothing happened, and I thought, oh, crikey. So I got up, dusted myself down, threw myself on the floor again, and then got up, what's going on? So I looked at my application, and actually saved my settings.
Right. So you're busy throwing yourself.
So once I set it up again and saved my settings, it worked fine, but I got a few bruises.
Well, at least you've tested it. That's good.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, it's instant. I mean,
You have got to be careful as well, guys. You know, if you set your blood pressure too low and not at a high enough one, what happens is your partner, like what I did, I didn't actually set it up properly, and she got these instant texts, and she was panicking that something's going on, and it was just too low. I was all right, you know. It's just set too low. You got to make sure you're doing the settings right, you know, and that's that's for you to know. And everyone's different, by the way, with blood pressure, because some people feel faint when they've got low blood pressure. Some people don't. My blood sugars go very, very low before I have a hypo. So they go as low as three and milliliters. So you know it's really different with different people. So you've got to know yourself. If you don't, then speak to your doctor or surgery, and they'll be able to help you. Remember, we're not here to make decisions using the app. This is really important. It says so in the app. Don't make a decision on your health because of it. In other words, don't go and tell your doctor you've had a heart attack or something because the apps said there's an anomaly with your ECG. But then take it to the doctor so they can make a decision because they know best what's best for you. So yeah, it's really good from that point. So it's an early warning system, and that's how I promote it, because without it, I've got a friend who's in Norway. She's about 84, 85, and before the data collection with the Hilo watch, they still ran the data and everything else, and she had 3 buzzers in the night. Next day she went to her doctors. They took her into hospital. She had angina, and they actually said you prevented yourself having a heart attack. And that's major. That is major. I to have to go through what I've gone through with the open heart surgery and 9 months of recovery, still in recovery, it's something I could have well done without, and that's what I think we need to be aware of, especially if you're over 55. I mean, this is the thing, you'll find younger people, are not so bothered about their health. But then you can talk, maybe they might be more interested about the money side of it, so. But yeah, do that discovery on people before you lay into them. And again, I think if you read through what we've done in the Facebook in terms of wording and how you speak to people, you'll learn how to do that as well. Okay. So anyone having any issues or challenges or want to? Yes, Phil.
Yeah, Derek, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, just a little thing aside.
Okay.
I'm just going to show you something to do with the heart. I don't know if everybody's going to be able to see this.
Yeah, we can see that.
Right. So that shows that my internal age is equivalent to a 33-year-old,
Okay.
and I'm 75. And
Right.
the reason is because I was instrumental in developing the world's first system to measure aortic pulse wave velocity, and I amazingly, I think I've seen that on the software that you've got in this system.
Wow. Okay.
And
So you're a
that's,
testament to the software.
yeah,
then.
it's very, very important because
Yeah.
that is determined by the flexibility or inflexibility of the artery. So
Okay, yeah, the
yeah.
hardness. I know, I read that about the hardness and
Yeah.
stiffness of the
And
artery.
for 20 odd years, I've worked with one of the world's top cardiovascular experts,
Oh wow.
and we're best friends. And
Yeah.
I've tested hundreds and hundreds, well, thousands of people for their aortic pulse wave velocity. But anyway, the point that the question I was going to ask
Yeah.
was refers to hydration.
Okay.
One of the reasons one of the areas of, I suppose, expertise that I am involved in is water,
Okay.
and in quite a big way actually. And so when I heard that the app or the watch measured hydration levels, wow, I thought that's just what I want. But I'm
Okay.
blowed if I can find that on
Okay.
my system.
Okay, right. Well, I did do a video about it, but I can go over it again.
Oh,
So
thank you.
if you go to your Hilo app,
Yeah. Oh, what on the phone?
well, you need both really. I suppose that's for the information. So on the watch,
Yes.
what you have to do is get to something called health readings.
Yes.
So you swipe, open it up, and you'll find that it's on the main sort of page. Then you
Okay.
swipe to the right.
Right.
So keep swiping to the right till you get health.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
Okay, and then on that menu, if you go up, in fact, you can see it, BIA. If you click BIA,
Oh, BIA. Okay.
yeah, and then you'll see just keep quiet and sit quiet, and it'll actually start reading using
Okay.
the technology. The technicals I don't understand, but
So what
does
is BIA standing for?
does anyone know what BIA stands for? Let me have a look in the Hilo app. BIA check. I'll tell you what it says. It says And it's something you've got to subscribe for. If you don't get the £7 a month,
I've done that.
subscription. Yeah.
I've done that.
The BIA check. Here we are. It says bioimpedance analysis.
Right.
Okay. So on here, I'll just take a read. I'll just tell you I've done one today because
Okay.
I'm trying to collect every, and I'll go through collection of the blocks of data. It's really important. So I'll just cover this for now. So the first one says total body water.
It says
In
what?
my
Sorry.
case, total body water.
Oh, right. Right.
Okay. In my case, it says 60 over 80, over 58. Sorry, 58 is ideal, and 60% is where I'm at. Okay.
Right.
Then it has a question mark. If I click on that, it says total body water is the total water present in the body. Water typically accounts for 60% of the weight of an adult. A
Yes.
normal value of adult, men 65 up to 30 years old, 60, etc. It gives you loads of information there.
Okay.
Then the next bit is intracellular water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mine's 39. It should be 54.
Right.
It's not that good. So this is water inside the cells.
Yes.
It's part generally two-thirds of the total body water.
Yeah.
Extracellular is the next bit, but we can't get that for some reason. So it says some of these don't operate in some territories, and that depends on the country, I think.
Right. Right.
The next one is fat mass,
Right.
and then visceral.
Yeah.
So that's another one. Then there's free fat masses, muscles, skeleton, body cellular mass, intracellular mass, extracellular mass, body mass index, BMI,
Right.
BMR. So it's got all of that there, protein factor. All of that is just under that BIA.
Wonderful. Well,
So
that's
that
excellent.
when you've got it, when you've done it,
Yeah.
you should come on the app. You get that on the screen.
Lovely.
Okay, and then you just scroll up, and it brings down all those things I've told you.
Oh,
And each
well, I'm
one's-
really,
each one's
really
got
excited
something.
now.
Good.
Now, I'll just tell you why you've got a
Uh-huh.
lower reading.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't want
I'm
to
your guinea
digress
pig.
from the
Yeah, go
meeting,
on.
so do
Yeah,
forgive me.
no, carry on. This is what we're talking about. So tell
Okay,
me.
so we have a big problem,
Mhm.
which nobody's really aware of, and that problem is that the water that we drink today
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what the source is, whatever the source is,
yeah.
that water is now not entering our cells efficiently anymore.
Yes,
right?
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Well, I've done all the science behind it, and
Yeah.
the problem, and this is a big problem, and this is why everybody, and this feature is really fantastic actually, and you'll realize that when I tell you why it's necessary. And the thing is this: the reason that water is not now entering our cells properly, no matter how much you drink, is that water in its natural state forms natural, what we call clusters. They are the H2O molecules bond together using one of the hydrogen atoms.
Yeah.
And so that forms a cluster, and that cluster has a frequency of vibration, which allows the water to enter the cell.
Right.
What's happening? Water absorbs information from frequencies, and we are living in an unnatural environment now. We are surrounded by electromagnetic frequencies from our computers, Wi-Fi, 5G, etc., etc. And what has happened, because we're actually 99% water on a molecular level, we're 60-70% water on a weight level, okay? But we are beings of water, and because water is now absorbing those electromagnetic frequencies, it is breaking the natural hydrogen bonds of the water cluster, and those clusters are now not entering our cells correctly.
All right.
Now, this is really key, because what happens when water enters our cell, it becomes what we call the cytoplasm, which is a gel. There's an enzymatic action takes place, and that water forms a gel which protects all of the organelles within each cell, trillions of cells, and it allows the mitochondria and the nucleus of the cell and all the other organelles to optimize the energy production. Now, because the water is now not entering our cells sufficiently, we are not able to optimize our energy. And this is a major, major problem, because if you've not got energy, you've not got life.
Yeah.
So I've been working now for years to address this issue, and I've done that. So the water I drink, that's why I have an internal age of 33 when I'm 75, because that's the importance of hydration and a few other bits and pieces. But anyway, so I'm going to do some work with that feature, particularly with companies, because I deal a lot with corporates. And I think this for me is very exciting. So I'm sorry I hit everybody with all of that.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, no, it's good to know that, because the other thing is when somebody's speaking with a bit of authority, then you've got a bit more, you know, what I call silver bullets to throw at people in terms of what we're able to do with our you know, watch, which is really, really good. Yeah, no, brilliant. Thanks a lot for that information.
No, that's a pleasure.
So that's good. You have lots of fun finding out all the different things, and then also explaining it to us. Maybe because last time I went through it, I just clicked the information, but then, you know, it might be good one day if we just did that, just that BIA alone, and just went through it, and you could actually help us with that. Good.
And the aortic pulse wave velocity as well, because that's critical. So anytime if you want me to give a talk, I've talked all over the world on these subjects to many different medical conferences and what have you. So I'm perfectly happy if anybody wants to ask me any questions, just fire away, and you know, send me a message or email, and I'll be happy to answer that.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's good to know things like that, because it's then showing the sort of clinical grade of our technology, and that's what I come up with. You know, when I showed the doctor my ECG, first of all, they were shocked that I could produce an ECG with a watch. And I had it printed off, and all the readings and everything.
Fantastic.
And I think sometimes people don't appreciate what we have got in our hands. You know, we've actually got something that for an ECG, you need a big machine, you need all the probes all over your body, you know, and they gave me another ECG as well when I showed them that, because they couldn't believe that our ECG could be accurate. So they had to back it up with one of their own ECGs. So interesting that, And
that atrial fibrillation as well is a very, very important indicator of the state of your cardiovascular system. And again, to be able to do that on the watch is really, really progress. It's very exciting.
Oh, definitely. I agree with you totally. And that's the key thing. I always go with the health first, and then, you know, the data and the money last, because at the end of the day, if you haven't got the health, you haven't got the wealth.
Absolutely.
So health should always come first. You know, that's key. Okay, brilliant. Anyone, any questions to ask about anything that we've talked about today?
Yeah, I've got a question actually. That's quite an interesting information that Phil just shared there, and I've actually heard that before about, because we are affected. You know, water is you know, everything's energy and frequencies, and that's all around us. A lot of people don't understand the concept of how that works. But you did mention that, and I've heard that being said before about our body's not absorbing water. We think we drink water, you know, a litre or 2 litres, whatever a day, and it's absorbed, but it's not. But Phil mentioned that he mentioned something about the water that he drinks. What particular water is that? And how does that look in comparison to what we normally drink?
Right. So this sounds might be a bit strange, but thanks for those comments. I drink the water that everybody drinks. The first thing that you must do is, first of all, make sure your water is clean, because the water we're drinking today is absolutely full of, well, I won't use any bad words on here, but it's not good. And so, you know, a glass of water is not going to kill you, but you drink it for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and then you find out you've got a problem. So that's that. So you must have an efficient filter. So once you've done that, once you've cleaned your water, you need to then what we call structure the water back into the way that nature originally intended, so that it enters the cell. And the great thing is, if you do this, it looks like we will be able to have a before and after result on our watch, which is absolutely brilliant. what I do now, and this is going to sound woo-woo, but it's not. It's science. I use light, and that light I use comes from, believe it or not, the torch on the back of your cell phone. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a program which you download onto your cell phone. You then shine the light on your water for 40 seconds. And what happens is that water then absorbs the energy from the light, and all light carries energy in the form of photons and frequencies. And that's how when you switch on your computer or your telephone or your television or whatever, they are receiving systems and decoding systems. So they receive the frequencies through fiber optic cables, which is light generally. And then the TV or the computer we're looking at now decodes those frequencies into picture and sound and color and all the rest of it. So I then can energize the water, and I can do this to anybody's water anywhere in the world at any time. And the effect of actually then drinking that water, or even if that water touches you, you spray a little bit on you, just a drop, it contains so much energy. That energy immediately is absorbed into the body instantly, and we can measure that. And I've got all of the evidence to show what it does to your blood for a start. But you become stronger, more balanced, more cognizant instantly, because what happens is that water being energized carries a larger energy than the electromagnetic frequencies that are being generated from man-made systems, and neutralizes the effect of those breaking up the structure of the water molecules. So there's nobody else can do that in the world. It's unique. It's taken years and years of development. I've been doing this. I've been talking about water and lecturing on water for over 30 years, nearly as long as you have in 35 years. You said,
yeah.
But
so is that, Phil? Is that an app that costs to have it, or
yes,
is that...
it's a system. It's not an app. It's what we call a genomic charging system, because it's all based on research from the Genome Project. And yes, so you download that, and away you go. And what I do now, and here's the problem.
What's the name of the app?
It's not available at the moment. We're releasing it in a particular manner, but I'll tell you. Has anybody heard of Richard Vobes?
No.
VOBES. Well,
No.
Richard has a YouTube channel.
Oh, right. Okay.
And if you go to,
I think Michael's heard of him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So if you go to Richard Vobes and you type, you search Richard Vobes, and then you type in water magic, I give a presentation on that, and it's quite dramatic.
Do that. So what about us mere mortals then? How do we go about?
Well, what I'll do is within the next week or so, I will get back to you and let you know how to do that. It's very simple, very straightforward. But here's the problem. The problem is you need to make a habit, and that habit is to drink water. And most people have bad habits, and the bad habits we know are, but one of them is they don't drink water. They're too busy.
Enough anyway. Because one thing I had on my app come up is I was dehydrated, and that's the test strip. So we have test strips that we on every week or so, and then there's lots of little squares, and then it tells me what deficiencies in vitamins and minerals I have. And then along there it also says whether your water. So for me, it said I was dehydrated, and I've drunk a lot more water since, so that's gone up now, so it's better than what it was.
Yeah, but I will get you right up there. All right. No, guaranteed.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so I won't bore everybody with my load of chat now.
Yeah,
but
just a very quick story actually about water, because I heard it, because I'm into the law of attraction and the quantum field and all that kind of stuff.
I'm into quantum stuff as well.
I love all that stuff. And
well, that's what I'm working with, quantum physics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
okay.
came across this guy and he made a suggestion, about manifesting stuff, and because water's vibration and
Yes.
frequencies and everything. So I tried it, and basically I filled a glass of water, I held it in both my hands, and my affirmations of, money flows into my life easily, in large amounts. I'm ready to receive abundance. I am a lottery jackpot winner and all that. So I've done that, and I've done that, and I've done that. And guess what?
You won the lottery.
I won the lottery twice.
Oh, did you?
Not the jackpot, but I did win it twice. I couldn't believe it. I went, what? This is crazy.
People have no idea,
Powerful,
John, generally
powerful.
of the power of the
Yeah.
mind.
Oh, very
And
powerful.
that's why we just need to make sure that we stay, no matter all the crap going on in the world, we all need to stay positive, because the effect on our health is one of the things that's determined by your positivity or negativity. And the problem is, if you think about too much that's going on today and you go to bed, and before you fall asleep and you're thinking about all of these difficult issues, the wars and all the rest of it, you wake up in the morning not very good. So try and go to sleep with positive images and memories
definitely a
of
good
good
idea.
things.
One other thing about the app, by the way, just to let people know, when I first started using the watch, and I was coming up with quite a high stress levels, even though I didn't think I was stressful. Okay. And what I did, I decided to control it with my mind. In other words, you can de-stress yourself because you've been told you're stressed, not because you knew you were stressed.
Yeah.
And now I hardly have any. It says no stress. So, and the other thing also is the energy levels have gone up as well.
Yep.
So there are things that watch can actually enable you to do yourself and improve in yourself. So it does show that we are powerful healers, and we can heal ourselves if we really put our minds to it. That's really.
And one last quick tip for everybody, which is really, really key to everything, really, is oxygen. And what we should do, we should make sure that every day we take time to breathe deeply. And I mean as deep as you can. And if you just do that, if you do that literally 10 times in and out, in for 8-10 seconds, something like that, and then out, right out, and then keep doing that, your blood pressure will drop almost instantly. You will be relaxed and calm, and you'll sleep a lot better. So deep breathing is very, very important.
And that was the other thing. My sleep pattern has completely changed.
Fantastic.
I was getting hardly any of the which one is it now? What's it called? What's the deep sleep? REM, was it? Okay. I was getting very, very low REM, and now it seems to be like big blocks through the night. And so obviously I've had an impact on myself, and this is the whole point. You can actually do it. And the good thing about the watch, it allows you to monitor that. And there's sleep now, I found out, is probably the biggest healing time, and
of course,
particularly with my operation.
Yeah.
If I wasn't sleeping till 12, 1 o'clock. Now I go to sleep 10 o'clock, even 9 o'clock, and I sleep right through till 7, 8 o'clock. So I've more than enough sleep.
Great.
And it's actually saying it on the watch, you've got a good sleep. And
good.
I feel good. And the thing is, the healing process is happening a lot faster as well. There's a lot of stuff going on. So good. Good. Okay. Well,
It's
I'm
interesting.
glad
It's interesting you mentioned about sleep and breath work and stuff. Here's one for the community. Actually, I don't know if you've heard of Gary Brecka.
Yes.
Gary Brecka says that you can name any ailment, any illness, anything you want, and I'll tell you exactly what is missing in your body in terms of supplements or whatever. And he talks a lot about breath work as well. And it's actually quite amazing. It's so important. And you start off with 5 breaths, deep breath, and then you hold it, and then you breathe all the way, breathe back in again. But breath work, you're talking about water here. And I mean, I think, we came on here to talk about strategies on LinkedIn and Facebook and stuff, but I think sharing valuable information about health and wellness,
definitely.
because, the old Newtonian model of cause and effect. Well, since then, science has discovered that the quantum method is causing an effect. You see, most people live either in the past or in the future, because they try to anticipate things, or they're reliving experiences, but we are in the present.
Exactly. And the other thing is, I was always told a few things. I was always told that disease is the word, if you split it up, is dis-ease. So it's dis-ease of the body. And the other thing I learned, which was a few years ago, my cousin who lives in India, who I hadn't seen for years and years and years, is a scientist, and she does a lot of research. Anyway, she wrote a book, and she was going to launch the book in the Netherlands. So I went over there to see her speak, and you know, it was amazing. It was a talk about yoga, and she'd proven through her research that yoga has healing benefits. And there's over, I think it's about 300 or 400 people there, and they're all doctors of different types, proper medical doctors and everything. And I didn't even realize this, that she was so high up in that industry. And I was going to buy a book, and I think it was about £300 or something. I didn't think I'll buy it. I thought I probably wouldn't be able to understand it anyway, because it's aimed at the medics. But the point is, I learned then from her about yoga and breathing and all those sort of things. And honestly, I believe it's made a massive difference to the way I think about everything now.
Good.
You know, having gone through the heart, well, you know, that in itself, I don't know if I've told everyone this, but you know, when I went to the doctors, when I had my heart attack in the January, I had the angiogram, and then I spoke to the surgeon. I said, look, but I was really fit because I changed my lifestyle. I was going to the gym 3 times a week. I was lifting weights. Everything was perfect. He said, yes, but it's a progressive thing. And he said the damage was already done. And the problem with that is, it's like when you have a pipe and it's got a bit of fat in, it'll pick up anything that comes through it. So it was gradually getting more and more clogged. So the reversing of all that was done too late. But anyway, he said to me, good news, bad news. And he said the good news is that with 100% blockage on one side, 65% blockage on the other side, because you were so healthy, you actually survived the heart attack. So that to me was impressive from my point of view. If I hadn't have been reversing my lifestyle and eating more healthily and being more concerned about what I eat and how I eat and everything else, you know, it really makes a difference. And again, with food and things, I don't know that, you know, digressing slightly, but because I used to be a chef, I proved to people in the cooking process, when you're cooking for hundreds and thousands of people, that you could actually get lots of very, very good compliments just because of the way you think and how you prepare the food before giving it out. And then I pointed out why some chefs get complaints about their food. It might be the same food as somebody else makes it, but because of the attitude and the way the energy is given to that food, then there's no reverence or anything. There's no thought process. They just slap it out, and then it comes back with a complaint. And I said it to one of my chefs, he's a junior chef, and I said to him, look, I want you to love that food, and I want you to put it out there with love. And honestly, he had that many compliments that evening. He said, I can't believe it. It's just amazing. So that energy goes from one person.
Yes, absolutely.
To the next, and that's really important to understand.
Okay.
So the more we understand all this, the better it gets. And the fact that we've got a watch now that tells us a lot. Yeah, we can talk about health, because that's probably going to be a big thing that's going to bring people in as well. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think something that you said earlier is really important, because they're getting really hot on this. It's not to diagnose diseases or issues like that, because that's just a route to a lot of trouble, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, I think, as I say, I'm very excited now to hear what you've just said, and I really appreciate that information.
Good. And hopefully you'll be sharing a few more tidbits with us as we go along as well. Great.
Pleasure.
Well done. Welcome on board.
Thank you.
So anyone else want to say anything or come, you know, to add to the talk that we're talking?
I thought you'd never ask.
Carry on.
I've got to say that was one of the most, I don't know how to describe this Zoom. It's been fascinating, entertaining, funny. Yeah, just brilliant.
Joyful.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I haven't been this entertained in a long time.
Well, we're giving good energy out there. That's the whole point. Yeah, and that's what it should be. We shouldn't be depressed and, you know, worked up about who we haven't talked to or who we have talked to. It's really about people, isn't it? Everything is about people, if you think about it. And it's about those connections we can make. And if we make this group a very, very warm community, then people want to belong. You know, Colin and I have proved this. We've done it so many times. people want to be with people who want to be with people, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
the key thing. They'll gravitate towards you. People are constantly contacting me. And then when I go into a network where people have got all kinds of jobs, I don't know why, but they come and make a beeline for me and they say, and what do you do? And then I say, well, actually, I've really come here to discover what other people do. So I start talking about them.
Very good.
And then when you talk about them enough, they feel so warm about it that when you tell them a bit about what you do, they're interested. So,
Mm.
you know, that's why they do you want to be a better word? That's why they buy off you. You know?
Yeah.
But good.
Very good.
Any other comments or any other people want to say anything before we go?
Just a quick couple, because I know Michael, and he's a great guy all the way down in sunny Wales, where my daughter and family are in Cardiff.
Okay.
So look forward to talking to Michael again. And thanks, John, for your comments. Very interesting indeed. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of very level. The thinking processes in a lot of the team I know are along the lines of what you're thinking about as well, Phil, which is good.
Great.
So we're obviously attracting, you know, similar types of people anyway.
Yeah, which is great.
Brilliant.
We all need to do that. We need to have, you know, a community spirit. I think it's becoming more and more evident and important nowadays that we do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree totally. That's why there's so many wars, because people don't think. Hi,
Absolutely.
Michael, you want to say something?
Yeah, well, we've covered air, we've covered water. Next week, let's get to Earth. Open Earthing.
Yeah, bare feet
Yeah.
on the grass. That's what I've been told.
I was waiting for you to make a comment, Michael, and sure enough, you did. That's great.
I've been well educated. I thought, you know, water, I just drink it or swim in it. I didn't know that.
Listen to the members of the group. We're all part of the same thought process.
Yeah.
We're all vibrating on similar frequencies because we're interested in the things that make a difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well said.
Definitely.
And
that's why we're here. Yeah, good. Okay, well, in the group, guys, in the Vivo group, if you please pass a message on what you thought about today's meeting, whatever you want, because the thing is that generates interest from other people who haven't been here, and then other people who want to be in it as well. So it's a good thing. The main presentation in the other group, the E3 group, that's designed for more of a stricter corporate type thing, whereas the Vivo group that I've also set up a secondary group which you're in is actually more of a community thing. It's more informal. Okay, just to let you know the difference between the two groups. That's why you're in two groups. So in the other one we just keep it to the presentations that are done, and in this one it's a bit different. Okay.
Derek,
yes,
shall I?
Karen. Yeah,
sorry, I was going to ask you about level 4. Is this appropriate time or?
well, I haven't got the paperwork with me, because do you know what the well, I can talk about the blocks. Okay, that's quite important to know as well. First of all, with the watch, right, if you want to collect 100% blocks, and what's a block? Okay, a block of data is 2.5 currently, 2.5 units, or 2.5 coins, 2.5 VSCs. Okay, so that's the coin. The coin's currently around the 2 to 3 cents value. We'll wait till next year. Now, with the coin, we don't naturally use that or pass that into our debit cards because of the value. So what you're getting paid mostly on is the volume that's generated, and that's VDL, which is through the sales of the watches in your team, and also people that are not in your direct line. So you can join this business by the way, without ever having brought somebody in. And if people are put into either A or B hub, then what happens is the volume goes through. So you benefit from that volume. And if you have one greater than the other, at the end of the week on a Monday, they take away the two, and then you're left with a difference, and you're paid on that difference. So one hub will always go to 0 VDL every week. And the VSC will just carry on stacking up. What I do is move the VSC into the spending. So it's all in the spending. And if you don't know how to do that, we'll maybe cover it next week, how you move it from the within the wallet, from the you know, the money arriving in your account, and then to the spending. And then from the spending, both the VSC and the VADL can be moved to your debit card. Obviously, the VSC is not worth anything, so it's not worth moving because you'll only get 3 cents per unit. So on the blocks, okay, so to collect 100% blocks per day, you need to be wearing the watch almost 24 hours. The only time you take the watch off, and I found this work, I did all sorts of things. I take the watch off in the morning for 1 hour before I go for a shower or whatever. The watch waterproof anyway, but the point is I can then not think about it. So what happens is I open my Hilo app and it starts collecting the data of the sleep and everything else while I'm in the shower. And so then I come out an hour or so later, the watch should be nearly fully charged, will take you through the next 24 hours. If you don't go through that period, if you miss 3 hours, 4 hours, or you let it run out and then have to recharge it for 2 to 3 hours, you're losing data, which is all monetized. So it's not a good thing if you're doing that, okay? And ideally you want it all on all the time, so it's monitoring what your body's doing. How are you able to tell people about things if it's not monitoring things and you can't actually talk about it? You know, that's the important thing about it. So really, yeah, do that. So on the blocks, I don't know if you know, Karen, how many blocks you get for level 4?
Sorry, I've lost my voice this evening. Funny enough. It's about 100%. No, 48, isn't it?
48. Okay, so I get 28. I'm on a level 2 NFT, so I get 28. That includes, by the way, it's 24. It becomes 28 when you actually do the £7 a month subscription, which gets you the ECG, the blood pressure, and the BIA, I think it is. You'll know because when you go on your app, you'll see on your watch rather, you won't be able to do certain tasks. But I thought I'd go for that because what's the point of having a watch that you can't do everything on and you can't tell people about if they ask you? So I straight away got it when I came in. The £7 a month is nothing. And to do that, all you have to do is go into your Viva in Persona and go to your the little world, and then in there's a shop. Just click on shop, and then it'll take you through to the purchase of that. Also, you can get the strips from there as well, the bio strips. So again, it's worth knowing about them because remember, every single bit of data that people in your team collect, you get a percentage on. So if they're only getting, 50 instead of 100, you're only getting paid your percentage on the 50. So why wouldn't you try and make sure that everyone's getting 100%? It makes a massive, those little differences are massive. And if you compound that could be in the thousands in a few years' time, as the team grows. So those little bits make a big difference. I remember in Amway, we had a distributor. I don't know if Colin remembers this, but they didn't like a particular product, so they always spoke badly about this product, and they had hundreds and hundreds of people in their team, and the people didn't buy it. And as a result of that, they lost a lot of money in sales. So if you're not a product of the system, then why are you in it? You with me? It's important to actually back up what you're going to say and talk about. So that's really, really crucial. So if that's 58, then Karen, that's 58 times 2.5 per day.
Yeah, and then you get, I think, 1.5 on the health buy. I'm not sure what that means.
1.5 on the what? On the health buy?
1.1.5 times rewards on the health buy, where on the 3, I think it's 1, and the 2, it's 1. I just wanted to understand it really. That's all.
Okay, I must admit I haven't fully understood that as yet. All I do understand is the VSC and the other one, the VDL. So I understand the 2 of those, but yeah, it might be worth something. I'll ask Graham more about that if he knows, and I can explain it to you as well a bit more. But 58 is quite a big difference. If you times that by 2.5 per day, then times that by 7 days a week, that's a lot. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Colin's just put it there. Hilo shop, then wellness for your £7 a month. It's $9, I think, so £7 a month roughly. subscription, which is neither here or there. It's not a lot, and it's worth it for the information you get, that you can actually do the extra things you can do, and also biostrips you can get on that as well. You know, you buy them and use it within that. The biostrip, and again, it links back to what Phil was saying about we're able to take through our app, we're able to take a photo, and then the AI works on the photo to tell us where the deficiencies are. And I think that's what the new product is. I don't know if you've heard about the new product, Phil, that's coming out in 8 months' time.
No.
The Nutrimix? No?
No.
Oh, right. Well, this is a desktop product, and I just can't wait. I'm going to grow the team as big as we can before it happens. But it's a desktop product. I can't get into prices at the moment, but I believe we're going to be able to load it with liquid vitamins and minerals.
Right.
And depending on each individual, again, this is why it's so important, because each person needs different quantities of vitamins and minerals.
Yes.
So it's going to produce shots on in the morning that are required. It's going to produce. So if you've got a wife or girlfriend, well, you know, lady and man, they need different amounts. Each person needs different amounts.
Yes.
Completely different from each other.
Yes.
So the machine will actually determine what your needs are, produce a shot, and then you'll take it. And as you improve, let's say, for example, you're deficient in calcium, and then as that improves, it'll give you less calcium to take, and so on. So this is again AI operated as well, and they reckon it's going to be. They launched it in Thailand as a like prototype, and they said hopefully within the next 6 to 8 months they're going to launch it worldwide. So that's going to be
interesting.
amazing. Yeah, and again, it'll be data. So it'll be people buying that. And then they'll probably pick up the data from what's being used, how people are with vitamins, minerals, etc. Again, that'd be really, really good data for them to sell on.
I think yeah, it's very, very, very good. The I would say this, wouldn't I? The thing with all supplements, and it really, again, it's the ability of the nutrient to be absorbed at cellular level. Now, with a liquid supplement, yes, that is correct. They generally are more able to be absorbed at cellular level. However, any liquid supplement is water, basically, with the supplement in
mix it with the water that you've made good, and then drink
exactly.
it.
Exactly.
Okay,
now,
brilliant.
I'll tell you just a very quick story. I developed a supplement, and I use something called curcumin in that supplement.
It's used in cooking. I know what you mean.
Yes, very, very powerful. Absolutely got loads of properties, but I use it with nanotechnology. Okay, so I've been taking that regularly for, I don't know, 6 months now. And now here's the and of course mixing it every morning with my water. And then what happened, literally 2 weeks ago, my wife said, why is your face cloth, it's gone bright yellow? And I said, yeah, I thought it was going yellow.
It's a very strong dye, actually. It's a very strong dye.
Yeah, she looked at my dressing gown, which is grey, and that's all turned yellow. Now, what's happened is the efficiency of delivering that curcumin into the cell because of the water means that it's actually being exuding from my body.
Sweat,
completely. It's absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, that's how the Asians make their rice yellow with curcumin.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
but yeah, that'll be really interesting to look at the supplements.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, no, good. Right, I think we've done quite a good night tonight. And then next week we'll talk a bit more about what I tend to do is I'll move on within the Facebook group to the next stage. So some of you will or won't have done that, but it's sort of moving along in that. So we've got a series of videos that show the different aspects of enhancing your LinkedIn and everything else. And then we'll talk like this, about stuff. So it's really good. I mean, it'll be good for people to start telling us a bit of their testimonials on products, the products so far and what they've benefited. I mean, for me, the main one is this week, where I actually took the ECG to the doctor, and they took it as, as important enough to do something. So that's good. All right then.
Thank you very much. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Derek.
All right. Speak to you all soon, and I'll post the recording in the group later on.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Thanks.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
See you.